Well, we're ready to go. It's 7 o'clock. I just want to say thank you for the opportunities, and thank you for the many blessings that I have been receiving basically ever since the cookout. And I would personally just like to thank Moss 47 for their support. And for those of you that do not know, we made the nationally printed final call. And for those of you that I guess received awards during this event, I do have copies of the final call for y'all. But what I decided to do, I went on ahead and signed up for a subscription. I think it was like $10 a month. And I just signed up for a subscription to the final call. $10 ain't nothing to make just for as a donation. So I have the online version, and that's how I was able to make a Facebook post about it. And I really appreciate it when I saw the final call. I read the article. I really appreciated how the author, which was Chad, went out his way to basically thank Hillsborough County Parks and Rec and thank everybody that received the award. And just like I said, I feel like he went out his way to make sure everybody got credit for their participation in coming together and supporting each other. Because just like I said, they didn't have to come, daycare didn't have to come, Parks and Rec didn't have to participate. So it was, for me, it was a real big, like I said, I can't do nothing but just be thankful for the blessings and for people who show up for you. And like I said, a lot of y'all do not know, but when I tell you Robin Teller, for this event, she was a lifesaver. Tasha Mingo was a lifesaver. Hillsborough County Park was a lifesaver. Chad did his thing. So I don't want to go on to no rant about the cookout because just like I said, everybody who stepped up and showed out, you are appreciated. If I did not call your name or you was not mentioned, I appreciate you. Al Ray, I appreciate you. The DJ, I appreciate you. Andre Wright, who came down from Georgia in the midst of all the things he has been going through and he has been dealing with, he still found time to come. So I'm just saying thank you for everybody that showed up and showed out to this event. And just get ready for next year. We got shirts on sale right now, and ain't nothing changed. If you purchase a shirt, you are a sponsor of the cookout. If you don't want to be a sponsor, don't buy a shirt, period. And ain't nothing about it. This is not a force. I'm not forcing you to do this. I'm not saying if you don't buy a shirt, you can't eat. It's never been like that. But if you want to support this movement, these are the ways you can support the movement. Participating, volunteering, coming to my community event that I'm hosting. I'm hosting a community event on January the 28th at Emmanuel P. Johnson. Stay tuned, because if anything changed, I will be first. As soon as I find out, y'all gonna find out. I'm gonna come directly. But as of right now, we have a community meeting on February the 28th at Emmanuel P. Johnson at 6:30. And some of the topics we will be discussing is coming up with a dream team. My definition of a dream team is these are the ones who want to be boots on the ground for us, basically just coming up ways to spread what is going on in our community to the people who are not on social media. So if you hear me talking about dream team and that's something you want to be a part of, please contact me. Contact me and I will be able to put you down. I will put you on the list. I will sign you up to be part of the dream team. The dream team, like I say, their responsibilities will be getting in contact with our seniors. That's the main thing. You see you sitting out there on the corner, stop, talk to them, and let them know what's going on in the community. Let them know things that could help them. Like I say, some of them might need information or some knowledge about going back to school. What's the next step? These are the things the Dream Team is going to be responsible for doing. But most important, the Dream Team is going to be responsible for updating our seniors in the community, find out what their needs, things they may have missing, things that they don't know about, and find out, because like I say, whenever I go to a meeting, 9 times out of 10, when I go to the meeting, it's resources available that I do not need. I don't need. But at the same time, I get all that information and I come back and I post it and I let people know about the resources that are available. They had a hurricane preparedness meeting that I would have never went to. And maybe it wasn't for me to go. Maybe it was for me to go because I don't really understand. It might have been a church thing because it was held at a church. So it might have just been for the members of the church, and seeing that I know the pastor personally of Victory, he invited me, so I came. So I was glad. It was a blessing for me to be there. Tomorrow, I'll probably be able to show y'all I'll go into detail about hurricane preparedness probably tomorrow. I'll take time and I'll sit down and I'll go live, or I'll shoot a video about hurricane preparedness, because there's some things that I feel should be repeated. And that's basically what I'm going to do. Repeat the information. If you have some damage from Hurricane Milton and Helene, if you have damage from them, there's some funds that are still available for people who had damage during the hurricane. Them 2 hurricanes, they have some funds available. Get in contact with me. I posted the information, but I know a lot of time when people see them posts, they don't read it or they don't know that it's pertaining to them. So what I will do is go over it again. I know the lady personally, and she'll sign you up and see, are you eligible? If the program fits you and you eligible for the program, she'll go ahead and register and sign you up. And from what I was told, it could be did over the telephone. So I will get y'all that information tomorrow. I posted it before, but like I said, I know a lot of people don't know that's what it's pertaining to, because the way I had posted it. And I would just like to thank everybody who played a part in me and a group of my little ones, a group of youth. We will be at the MLK Day Parade tomorrow. We will be with Hillsborough County, I think the Water Department. But Fred Sanders, we'll basically be with Fred Sanders tomorrow with the department he works for. We will be in the MLK Day Parade. So if you see me tomorrow in the MLK Day Parade, it is not AI. It's not going to be AI. It's me. It's me personally. I will be there throwing bees, floats, giving out good vibes, number positive vibes going to be going on at the MLK Day tomorrow at the parade. And this was basically, just to be honest, this will be my first time ever going to the MLK Day Parade in Tampa. Normally, I'll either go to the one in St. Pete or I'll go to the one in Miami. But the one in Miami, like I said, Miami is a 3-day event. They doing stuff Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So that's 4 days in Miami. Normally, that's where I would be at. But like I said, this year, I decided to stay close to home. And it was my intention to go to the MLK Day Parade in Tampa anyway, but some circumstances came up, certain things I didn't agree with, so I was just going to go to the one in St. Pete. But God saw fit for me to be going to the one in Tampa, so guess what? That's what's happening. So tonight, I wanted to discuss following your dreams. You know, when I bring these topics up, I always try to do my best to get all the information that is available for people that is interested in following your dreams. That's one of the things that I do. I try to do. And yes, I have my notes. So basically right now, I'm going to discuss some pros and cons. It might be out of context to some of y'all, because it's basically like 25 pros and the 25 cons. I meant to go through it, but today I cut my foot. So right now I'm kind of limping around, and I basically just been trying to stay off of my foot today. So if I wasn't able to prepare tonight like I normally would prepare, but I'm going to go ahead and make it pop anyway. And yes and no, we are not at the park tonight. We are in the studio, and that's why you see the background that was created for the studio. And Vernon, if y'all know Vernon's in the process of making me a backdrop. So that's what's going on. This is a digital backdrop, but Vernon is making me an actual backdrop. So some of the pros about following your dreams. I don't know, should I go with these questions or whatever? Well, I'm going to hit the audience engagement questions. So for number one, and if you can drop your response in the questions or not, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, I think next month I'm going to just record everything and just play it blind. And if anybody want to get back in contact with me and we can convo, or I can, elaborate or go one-on-one with them in the future. But the way things are going, and as far as my time, what I think I'm going to start doing is just pre-recording the shows and then putting them out every Sunday at 7 o'clock. But like I said, because next week we're supposed to be discussing, did I write it down? I forgot. I know it's here, but I don't want to do too much. But I already got it wrote out what we're going to be discussing next week. And when I edit this and bring it back up, I have next week episode on for what we're going to be doing. And as I said before, you can share, like, it's not going to hurt you. If you see one of your partners, they trying to sell some boiled peanuts, and that's your partner, share. Even if it's not your partner, if you know them or if you know people who like boiled peanuts, share it with them. That's one of the things that they say black people have a crab mentality. And I don't know if y'all familiar with the crab mentality, but it's the bucket and the crab mentality. The crabs could always basically escape the bucket if they wanted to. But what happened is one of their partners who in the bucket grab them and bring them back down. That's the crab mentality. If we lift each other up and if we support each other, there's a lot of things that change and you'll feel a certain way about what's going on in communities or whatever. Communities get a bad name is because certain people, everybody want titles. I don't want no title. I don't care nothing about it. I'm going to just do what I do, whether it's in an organized setting with a group of people or if I got to do a solo dolo. I have no problem with that. What dreams, this is one of the questions, what dreams are you afraid to start? See, what dreams are you afraid to start? See, this question right here, I would have X'd it out. But since I didn't, I got it on here. That's what it says. And another one is, what stopped you from pursuing your dream? Now, that's a great question. What stopped you from pursuing your dream? In the past, what stopped me from pursuing some of the dreams that I had was that I had other responsibilities. And sometimes it might even been financial as to why I didn't start some of my dreams. But on the way to you getting started with any dream that you have, the best thing you could do is, if you're not starting, get all the information you can get about doing it. If you're trying to open up a sandwich shop, go talk to some people who got a sandwich shop. Ask them, what was one of the biggest hurdles that stopped them or prevented them from starting that they wish they would have knew now, that if they knew then, things would have went a lot smoother. See, when you getting ready to follow your dream, be careful with who you share your dream with, but at the same time, if you see somebody that's doing something that you want to do, ask them, talk to them, see how did they get started. If you want to be the best lawn cutter, talk to somebody who cutting yards. Ask them, hey, do you think this is something that I could get into? Or do you think this is something I could just do on the weekend? If it's something you want to do on the weekend, is this a job that's going to take me away from my main job and I'm not going to be able to do it on the weekend? Any kind of question that you have, you should put it on paper. And like I said, when you get with somebody who does what you're doing in that field or something that you're trying to do, have a rap session with them. Because like I said, it's a lot of the younger generation now, because they know I used to be a barber. They ask me certain things about barbering and about doing shops and all of that. And I tell them, if you had a full-time job and you wanted to cut hair, back when I was coming out, because I had a job, I was doing other things. My goal was always just to cut hair on the weekend, was Saturday and Sunday. That was it. That's all I wanted to do, because I was always doing other things during the week. So Saturday and Sunday, that's the only day I wanted to cut hair. So for me, that's why when my first shop was on 112th in Nebraska. But that wasn't even my first shop. That was my second shop. My first shop was in Peddler's Mall. Peddler's Mall used to be open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that was my dream, because at that time, I'm being honest, I was still running the streets. So I would run the streets the rest of the week, but on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would show up to the barbershop, because that's the only 3 days that Peddler Mall was open. They had two locations. They had one on Nebraska, and they had another location that was on 60. So that was part of my dream. I never really had a dream of trying to go full time. And then they shut the flea market down. Then I ended up going across the street and working at Uppercuts. And Uppercuts was a traditional barbershop. And what I mean by a traditional barbershop, it was in a script mall, and they was closed on Sunday and Monday. So now I had to get accustomed to that, because like I said, I'm paying booth rental now. And since I hadn't started playing booth rental versus paying rent for the building, I started coming up there every day the shop was open, because I'm paying to be there, even though I had other things. And, I just had to get things in order. That's the easiest way to put that. And then support. I know a lot of y'all believe everybody is going to support you. They may, and they may not. But if they don't, that should not deter you from following your dreams. You should be supporting you. Your dreams, your visions, you should support them. But like I said, some family members will, but what I'm saying is, don't expect that. If you think that their support is going to fund your dream, no. They may assist you, they may help you, they may come once every 3 months and, whatever, but don't, just remember this. And that's what I always tell everybody, because now I have a different set of sponsors. I have a different set of supporters. But I remember in the beginning, I had a lot of supporters financially, physically, spiritually, mentally. And I always try to tell everybody, support does not always mean money. Support could just be as simple as, hey, man, you're doing a good job. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I like what you're doing. Them are all forms of support. Because everybody, whether they like it or not, everybody like to be pat on the back for something that they did, accomplishment that made. They like to be recognized for it. So just remember that when you dealing with your dream, remember at the end of the day, it's your dream. Everybody is not going to be like pounding the pavement for your dream like you would. So if some people don't get discouraged, don't get upset, don't be mad, because like I say, at the end of the day, this is your dream. So the things that I do, I tell everybody, when I go to the park once a month and do a free cookout and do this and do that, I don't get mad when 6 people show up, because my thing is, I ain't never had an event to where we ran out of food. I never had an event that we ran out of food. But what I learned in 2025 was, what I started doing was making food. I done had it catered at least 3 times. And when we have it catered, that means you pay somebody to bring food in. So now I got food. So now, say 10 people show up. The food that I have is to feed more than 10 people. So what I was doing then, I would go make plates for this family, that family, some seniors. I would make them plates out of the food that I had catered in, and I would go take it to them after my event. My event used to always be from 2 to 6. And then from 2 to 6, 7 o'clock we cleaning up, and then 7 o'clock I'll go live right after the event. And that's why a lot of times y'all see me going live at the little park, because that's why I started going live on the podcast, so I would do it there. So what I started doing after that, which I started coming up with, okay, we need to have food that is easy to prepare. So we started doing hot dogs, fish, hamburgers, and that way, if 10 people come up there, we may have 5 cases of fish. But if 10 people come up there, we already know. Bam, bam, bam. And one thing that I learned from doing the cookout is, I don't care what you're doing, have a timeline for when you're going to feed. Like at the cookout, the timeline was 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. From that time, you feed. After that, you done. So that makes it easier when you're preparing food and when you're doing this, because you know the people that are there from that timeline, you feed them, and then after everything else, you can shut the grill down, shut the hot grease down, whatever you got going on, you can shut it down and clean all up, and then whatever y'all else had on the schedule, on the program, do that. But that's one thing that I know I'm going to carry on from this event, and I can thank Raheem Douglas and Tasha Mingo for that, because I'm just telling you, I never really thought about it. I may have had a program in my head, but I never put it on paper, and I never really told nobody what we was doing. Even when we was doing the bike ride, we would say we was leaving at 2 o'clock, but 9 times out of 10, we might have left at 2:30, 3:45, or whatever, because, you know, people was calling, hey, wait on me, we coming, we just getting out of church. So one thing that I learned from that and the cookout, and then dealing with other people and partnering with other people, that stick to that the best as you can. So have a goal, have a routine, have a schedule, and stick to it best as you can. That's one of the things that I picked up from partnering up with Hillsborough County Parks and Rec and Raheem. When I tell you they're serious about that, he was serious. He meant everything he said when it came to that. Are you chasing your dreams? Are you chasing your dreams? What that mean to me, are you going after your dream? If you have a dream and it's something, for number one, you got to make sure it's something that you could do. You know, I'm not talking about no kiddie dream where, you know, I'm finna buy me an airplane. That's a kiddie dream. But I'm talking about something serious and something that's attainable. And I'm always trying to stick to like opening up your business. If that's something you really want to do, you cannot go wrong by doing all the research that you could do and getting all the information you can get pertaining to opening up your business or whatever your dream is. Your dream may be to go back to school. If that's something you want to do, you know, go take 1 class, take 2 classes. Because when I went back to school, it was straight. When I went back to school, because back then I didn't work on Monday and Wednesday, so all my classes was on Monday and Wednesday. And I hated whenever a class was full up. Now I'm stuck, and I'm always ended up going on a Friday class. I tell any college student, you can't pay me to take a Friday class. When you become an adult, I'm going to go to school 4 days a week. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not taking no Friday classes. But back then, all I was taking was Monday and Wednesday classes, because as a barber, you off Sunday and Monday. So Monday, and I took Wednesday off, but I didn't really take Wednesday off. I made sure all my class was in the morning, and I would end up going to the barbershop by 12 o'clock, because I would take my morning classes. So if that's one of your dreams is to go back to school, trust you me, when you become an adult, they got a way for you can take online classes, and then you're going to do like I did. I took online classes, and I found out online classes wasn't for me. But once you do that and you figure that out, then you just, like I said, you have to make up a plan. I deal with a routine. I get involved with a school that can work with your schedule. And I'm quite sure with jobs these days, they always have tuition reimbursement. So a lot of times they'll work with you on your job if it's something that you're doing tuition reimbursement with, or if it's something for advancement in your position at your job. But like I say, you have to do the work and find out what you can and what you cannot do. And I'm quite sure now, I think even some school got Matter of fact, some schools did, because at the time the woman that I was married to, she wanted to be an RN. So she was going to a school, I want to say on the weekend, and the school was in St. Pete. So I forgot the name of the college, but like I said, the way things is, if you willing to put in the work, and if you willing to take the risk and take the time and dedication, like when I tell you, my sister, she wanted to be an RN. She just did her LPN, and she took an accelerated course. Now, accelerated course, if you don't know what that is, that's where they punch a whole bunch of information into a short period of time. So she took an accelerated course so she can become an RN. And like I said, we ain't see her no more because she was in school. You know what I'm saying? And she graduated, and right now she's a traveling nurse. So guess what? We still don't see her. She might be over here 6 months. She might be over there 6 months. She might be here 3 months. But at the end of the day, it was a passion. It was a dream. It was something she wanted to do. She put in the work. She did it. And now she's reaping the benefits. So that's something what a lot of people don't tell y'all about. When you follow your dreams and you accomplish them goals, it's time to sit back and reap the benefits. Sometimes the benefits is more money. If that's your passion, that's what you're working hard for, more money. Sometimes it might be flexibility in schedule. Because I know a couple of people who are RNs, they only work 2 days a week. But them 2 days a week, they might be doing 20 hours. But like I said, whatever your passion is, or however you trying to, you have to be real with yourself, and please do not set yourself up for failure. That's the biggest thing that some of us do. And for number one, you have to be disciplined and you have to be organized to do a lot of this. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not organized. I try to be organized, and that's something that I've been praying on, and that's something that I've been working on for years, is being organized. But organization, that's the biggest thing that you're going to need to help you accomplish and follow your dreams, is being organized. I don't care what nobody tell y'all, you got to be organized. You got to be organized and disciplined. And another thing, following your dreams is really not, it's not a perfect science. And what I mean by that is, if you hit a road bump or a speed bump, don't let that deter you. Just look for alternate ways. Like when I was in school, I was taking all these classes, I was having issues. So you may have to drop something. You may not, you may not want to do all of this, and you may have to take smaller steps to follow your dreams. But at the end of the day, don't stop. Because a lot of times, like I said, at one time I was taking 4 classes, and then I had to drop 2 of the classes. Because if I wanted to drop 2 of the classes, I was failing. The teacher told me straight up, he said, Sean, I don't care what you do, there's no way you can pass this class. So for me not having to be able to flunk you, I'm gonna need you to drop the classes so we can go ahead. So I dropped the classes. I was able to pay. I kept my GPA up. I did all of that. But like I said, I dropped the classes, and that's what I had to do. So don't feel like that's like you're a failure or nothing like that, because all that's part of being an adult, and all that is part about making smart decisions. If something come up and you can't, and it won't be done, that's the smart thing to do. Just drop it and re-sign up, or get with a different instructor or different professor. And one thing, when you're in school, if you find a professor and you like their style of teaching, everything they teach, you need to be in their class. You always need to look for them. Because when I was going to ACC, a lot of the professors that people like, their class would always fill up. And now you got to deal with somebody new. But like I said, give me 1 second. What's up? I'm live right now. How can I help you? Bell what?
Did you watch her?
No, I ain't do none of that. It was cold today. And then I ain't hear no more from you. You still want to come get her?
Or stay.
Where you at?
Or it's like a farm. I'm not trying to get in the car when we feel like that. This food I have to deal with, and she won't be getting me reported.
Ashley, didn't you hear me tell you I'm live right now?
Well,
yeah, you know I do my podcast every Sunday at 7 o'clock.
You do what?
I do my podcast every Sunday at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8. You on the podcast right now, the one you don't know about.
What up? Anybody with some money that got some funds, holla at me. I ain't got no kids.
See, that's why I normally have my phone cut off. My children.
This is a podcast, not a dating show. We need to do part of below. I just playing. All right.
So y'all must be outside.
No, I ain't got mine. I'm over here DoorDashing.
Well, how you know about Act the Dog then?
Huh?
I'm going to call y'all back after the show.
All right.
Okay? Normally I would have my phone and all that off, but tonight it's just different. Like I say, this is what you got to deal with. That's normally why I go to the park for the peace and quiet, and I'm able to record. You ain't got to worry about no background feedback. You ain't got to worry about the TV being playing. You ain't got to worry about none of that. So normally that's why I go there. But as tonight, due to the weather and due to I cut my foot and I'm limping to where that I wasn't able to do that. So I'm apologize for that. But they're my kids and that's just how they are. And here goes, like I said, I have a list with the cons of following your dreams. And here are some of the cons. Sacrifice, uncertainty, financial risk, lack of support, failure, slow progress. Listen, on the slow progress, I want y'all to understand. It's a lot of be patient. That's the simplest way to do it. Be patient. I don't care what you're doing. Have patience in doing it. Because if it was easy, everybody and their mama and grandmama would be doing it. 9 times out of 10, you don't really want nothing. Put it like this. Fast money ain't always good money. That's the easiest way to do it. Take your time. And the thing that I always tell people, don't repeat the same mistakes, because that is one of the most costliest things you can do in any situation where you're trying to follow your dream, is repeating the same mistakes. And I'm talking about you can take that to a life lesson, repeating the same mistakes. That's something you want to keep that to a minimum. You got to remember where you came from and what you went through to the fact to where you wouldn't want to repeat the same mistakes. That's a no-no. And that's one thing I truly don't do. Self-doubt. Don't doubt yourself. I know, like I tell everybody, it's going to be some hard days. But just like the rain, it don't rain forever. Ain't nothing. I'm saying, and sometimes you're going to get sad. You're going to be disappointed. And, you might be late paying the rent. But at the end of the day, and another thing, make sure you are financially sound and ready before you do any of that. Some people say you should have, I want to say 6 months to a year of rent up front. And that way you wouldn't have to worry about paying rent. So when I opened up the barbershop in the flea market, I paid them basically 6 months at a time. I paid them 6 months and then I made enough money to pay them another 6 months. Because when you opening up a new business, that's one, this pertaining to business. Now, I know everybody's dream ain't got nothing to do with businesses, but I'm saying that's one thing you really don't want to have over your head is worrying about paying your rent. So, like I say, be prepared. emotional exhaustion. Just make sure everybody around you know that what you're going through and what you got on. Because some people, especially friends, they'll get in their feelings when you want to go, they want to go out and you don't want to go out because you're on a mission. That's what we like to call it in the hood. You're on a mission and you following your dream right now, and it's something that's more important to you going out. And sometimes your dream could be to save $5,000 or to have $10,000 in the bank. Whatever your dream is, you have to attack it, and you have to be serious about that being something that you truly want to do. And yes, sometimes you may be lonely, but guess what? When you're lonely, go to sleep with your dream. And then sometimes, that's why I say, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you need to let them know, like I said, what's going on with your dreams and things that you're trying to accomplish. Because sometimes your dream might be to buy a new house. Because I talked to somebody the other day, matter of fact, yesterday, and they're not from Tampa, but I guess in the last 6 months, something done happened, and she decided that she want to stay in Tampa now. I think she was from Fort Lauderdale, and I'm saying I probably known about 2 years, and she always talking about, I think I'm finna go back home. That's where my family at. That's where my support system at. But something done happened. I said she done got a little boyfriend. She said, no, I ain't got no boyfriend. Ain't nothing like that. But I think she has. But it's cool, because everybody's business ain't my business. But one of the things that she was doing, because she's planning on buying a house in Tampa now, is she done started cutting back on her expenses. You know what I'm saying? Like far as going out to eat, cable services, and she gonna keep internet, but she got rid of all her cable services and things like that because she's getting herself ready to purchase a house. So like I say, whenever you get ready to follow your dreams, there's certain things you have to do to prepare yourself doing that. And sometimes it might be, I got to start going to bed early. I got to start getting up early. Prepare yourself for that. So when it happens, it's not like it's a big shock to your system or to what's going on around you, because you are prepared and you are already ready for that. Because just like I tell everybody, I don't care what nobody say. I don't know why I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock. I do know why I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock. But the thing is, it's certain things that I could do since I wake up at 4 o'clock. And that's what one of the wonderful things about me working at Waste Management, because I used to wake up at 4 o'clock. I would get up and go to work. And I think we could be to the route at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So an early morning job, them were some of the things that I could do. And I took pride in doing because I naturally wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And your faith gonna be tested. And your faith gonna be tested. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that was told to me. I got invited to a reception or a vow renewal. And the lady who hosted the vow renewal, she like a sister to me. Her and her husband, I love them to death. I don't have no problem with saying I love them to death. I love their kids to death. I love all of them. And she's out of Plant City. He out of Tallahassee, I think. But she out of Plant City. And one of the things she said, and it always stuck to me, is when I tell you she had some very nice invitations. She had all of that deal. And she sent out a lot of invitations. And what was so special about it, I made sure I bought cash so I could pay for my food. But the way she had it set up, we didn't have to pay for nothing. It was all catered, and it was a nice event. And when she got up there, I know she probably felt a certain kind of way because certain people she invited, and they told her they was going to come, and they didn't come. So one of the things that she said when she was there that is always going to remember me, you were invited for a reason, And for those of you that showed up, I appreciate it. I'm going to always remember that, because some people don't realize that you got certain people who don't deal with everybody and don't deal with this, even with me. You know, that's why I always have open invitations, because in the past, I had a certain clique that I hung with, and that's all I hung with. But with now that, you know, I'm not saying I'm getting older, but now as time flying, I'm starting to notice that, Sean, you need to get out and meet different people, start hanging with different people, start communicating with different people versus your circle. When I tell you my circle was small, it was small. But like I said, so now if I'm going out to eat, I'll let people know. If people show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. Because at the end of the day, I was going out to eat regardless. It wasn't like I was throwing an event to eat. I'm going out to eat, and I'm giving an open invitation to somebody else who might eat. Just like for Valentine's Day. I'm going to probably do the same thing for Valentine's Day. Because I'm quite sure there's some people sitting home for Valentine's Day, don't have a Valentine, or their Valentine might be in the military, or they might be overseas, or whatever going on. But I'm going to probably do something for Valentine's Day to where if everybody just want to get out, it ain't even got to be eating. It could be going to a movie. I'm going to just start doing more, just getting out like that with people, whether you know them or not. And just having open invitations. That's what I always call them, open invitation. And to certain events, anybody can come. And like I said, just to get out, meet people, and socialize. That's the biggest word. Some people are not sociable people. Me, I am when I'm put in that situation. This is the sheet that I was looking for, and these sheets are two-sided, so now I'm messed up. So the purpose of this episode is to inspire viewers to stay committed to their dreams, even when progress is slow or support is limited. This episode uses real-life testimonies, which I done gave all the testimonies I could give, including the first You See It Award as proof of consistency wins. Proof that consistencies win. The reason I had this on here, like I said, this is what I was looking for, because when I tell you everything happened for a reason, is a true statement. And what I mean by that is, we just gave away the You See It Award last month. Then a post came up in my memories, and the post was from 7 years ago. The post was from 7 years ago with me talking about giving away, finding the second person to give the You See It Award to. And the only reason that it was said the second person to give the You See It Award to, because since I created the award, I was the first person that got the You See It word. But officially, Tasha Mingo was the first person to get the You See It award. But the thing that just stuck out to me was, like I said, this was something that I visioned 7 years ago. I visioned this 7 years ago, and it came to pass just last month. So that's another thing when it came to following your dreams. That was something that I remember when I came up with my idea to do that, it was right after a cookout. Well, they had the king and the queen, and I had just got the king and queen. I got the king award, the king of the year award. I'm the only recipient to ever receive that award, and Chad is the first person to receive it other than me. Every time it came up, I would always get nominated, and I would always win the King of the Year award. So this year, since I was over the cookout, I couldn't give it to myself, so I had to find somebody that truly represents what King of the Year is. And just so y'all know, the King of the Year award, it started in 2019. So that award was given out, 7 years ago? 7 years ago, 7 or 6 years ago. And like I said, that's when I started thinking about the You See It award. And that just to basically say that dreams don't die. They don't die. You might dreams do change, but they don't die. So sometimes you be like, well, I remember I used to want to do this and now I want to do something else. That's okay, because that's called growth. That's called growth. And then, like I can tell everybody, things change. As you get older, certain things change in your life that makes you like, you might used to like red bones, now you like dark-skinned girls. As we get older, certain things don't matter to us no more. And like I said, you start realizing you have a different outlook on things. So that's why dreams change. And then a lot of times, you can look at it was like 7 years, but at the same time, them 7 years, I could have been basically preparing to do. It was preparing me to do what I wanted to do. It took 7 years, but it was preparing me to do what I needed to do, to find a recipient, to even thinking about it. Because I'm going to be honest about you. I actually really forgot about the You See It Award. And then when we was giving out awards, I wanted to give out 6 awards. So it was like I'm trying to find, and all the awards other than the King and Queen Awards were awards that I made up. And what I mean I made up, I knew what the individual did, and I knew who I wanted to honor. So I had to create an award to go along what they did. And I'm going to tell y'all this, you probably heard it before, like Miss Joyce McNeil, I'm just saying, the majority of her children, they are very supported in the community. They will give you the shirt off their bike, especially that Chris Ray, and they're supportive to me. And I see the things that they do in the community. Like I say, Dee Dee and Taji Ray, I see what they do. We had a neighborhood, we had a community cleanup. Them cats, they went and got their pickup truck, they went and got their trailer, and they was helping us clean up the community. And like I said, I looked at them, and then I look at their kids doing the same. Their kids had that same type of mentality. So I knew we had to start somewhere. See, I don't know Miss Joyce's mama. I don't know Miss Joyce's parents. So I'm figuring that they got it from their mom. So that's why I wanted to honor her in honor of honoring all of them. Because all of them deserve an award. So I knew if I made sure their mama was straight, I knew they was going to be straight. And another thing, whenever you pursuing your dream, and I went over this earlier, you can put a time limit on it, but if you have to stop and pick back up, do that. But don't quit. Just stop and pick back up. Say, I'm going to put that on hold for right now. You know what I'm saying? I done learned the lesson, so next time when I come back, you're going to come back bigger and better. So like I said, don't get wrapped up. Don't bury them. And just like I say, set yourself up to keep pursuing them. And just remember, you have to be prepared for whatever dream you're trying to pursue. And what I mean by prepared, you have to know whatever it is. If you're trying to get your CDL truck driving license, you got to study. And that's all part of preparation to get your CDL license. Like with me, I need to get my hazmat license. I need to get my forklift certification. So guess what? I'm in the process of right now of preparing to get my CDL. I got my CDLs, but I want my hazmat endorsement. I even been thinking about getting the motorcycle endorsement, even though I don't want to ride a motorcycle. I am scared of motorcycles. I'm scared. I'm not going to lie. But I even been thinking about getting the endorsement because I was told, and I may have been incorrect, that if you want to ride a slingshot, you need a motorcycle endorsement to drive the slingshots. Now, I do want a slingshot, but I don't want the slingshot with the 3 wheels. I want mine converted to have 4 wheels. But that's something that I've been thinking about and pondering on. But at the end of the day, that's a toy. So, but at the same time, if that's something that I want, I'm going to have to prepare myself to be able to get that, receive that, and, drive it safely And just remember, if don't nobody see you, you see you. So you see it. And just remember, it's a lot of things you're going to go through, and I want you to know it's normal. It's normal to doubt. It's normal to say, well, we're going to do this next year, because I'm telling you, I done been there. I done been there. Or we going to make the next year. Like a lot of people, I'm going to tell you, I read a book, and it was written by, what is Ron DMC brother's name? I cannot, Russell Simmons. It was wrote by Russell Simmons. And the quote, this book might be 10 or 20 years old. The quote was always, everybody kept saying, oh, I'm going to wait till the new year to lose weight, or I'm going to wait till the new year to open up this new business. I'm going to wait this and this and this and that there. And he always said, why wait then? Why wait till November? I mean, why wait till January to do something you can do right now? So keep all that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Everybody come up with these New Year resolutions. I don't really believe in New Year resolutions. I believe in new goals. You got new goals, because once you accomplish them goals, guess what you do? You start up another one. So I believe in goals. And goals and resolutions might be the same thing to you, but to me, they not. So I had different goals this year. And this is the goal that I want y'all to know. I keep seeing this post on TikTok where they were saying, one thing I ain't doing this year is going back and forth. One thing I ain't doing this year is going above and beyond. One thing I ain't doing this year is going out of my way. But guess what? One thing I'm doing this year, I'm going back and forth. One thing I'm doing this year, I'm going above and beyond. One next thing I'm doing this year, I'm going all out. I'm doing it. You ain't got to do it. You do not have to go back and forth. You ain't got to go above and beyond, and you ain't got to go out of your way. But I'm going out of my way, I'm going above and beyond, and I'm going back and forth. That's what I'm doing this year. I just wanted to get that off my chest, because every time I see that video, it reminds me of me, and it's like they're doing the opposite of what I'm trying to do. And I mean that respectfully. I know people do stuff for likes, and they do stuff because it's a trend, or they do stuff because everybody else doing it. I'm not doing that, because like I said, I do believe I'm going to go above and beyond. I do believe I'm going out of my way. I'm doing the opposite of everything they say they ain't doing. I'm doing the opposite. And you have to have, like I said, you have to have the right mindset, and you also have to have perfect understanding. And you also gonna have to be able to handle criticism. And I'm gonna give y'all this, and I'm gonna end, and I'm gonna try to end it on this, but I'm gonna tell y'all, when I was making plans, I was trying to get all the information I could, and I'm gonna be honest, it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to get this together. And it went like this. I was talking to people, you know what I'm saying? They kept saying, oh, you need to get a committee together. Oh, you need to get this. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. It would be nice if you did get a committee together. It would be nice if you did have one, but you don't need to do that. Because one thing I learned, and I can tell you it in Spanish and in English, when people start seeing that this is something that you're doing, they're going to come and they're going to want to support you, and they're going to want to help you. When I started doing that cookout, and I started, people started saying I was selling shirts, and people started saying I was doing this, you had something that was in their feelings. Yeah, something was in their feelings because I guess it's because it was me. But at the end of the day, the same people was in their feelings. They didn't realize this is something that I've been trying to do for over 2 years. And it just fell like it fell then. I had a real close friend who made the shirts. You know what I'm saying? Made the shirts. I had a real close friend who helped me with the shirts and whatever was going through. My partner Gerard passed away. So it was like when Gerard passed away, one thing about Gerard, when he passed away, And if he would have been here, it would have been a whole different event. And I'm not saying it's going to be a whole different event. I wouldn't have had the type of pressure that I had on me, because that was one thing that Gerard was good about doing. Whenever I had an event or he knew I was doing something, I had something going on in the community, I kept getting phone calls. What you need? What you need? And I would always say nothing until the end when I really found out what I needed. Because I always gave people opportunity to support. I always gave people opportunity to do donations, just to help me out. It's people in my life that I could go to them and they're going to make sure it's happening. Like Squilly, one of them, Steve, one of them, Dee, one of them, Taja, one of them. It's people I can go to them, but it's like, I don't want to go to them. If people truly, because one thing about this, and they're good at it, they'll support everything I'm doing and won't show their face to none of it. And then I'd be like, well, I'm going to no, don't put me on Facebook. Don't say nothing. I did that because me and you down. Them the type of friends that I have. And I don't want to use them like that. I don't want them to feel like only time Sean called me is when he wants something. And that's how I feel. So that's why I give the community opportunities to participate and be a part of what I'm doing and to help support their community. Because one thing about it, I enjoyed the cookout by seeing everybody eat, have fun, laugh, seeing people they ain't seen a long ago. I'm taking pictures. People, every time somebody stop me, they want to take pictures. And that's how I get mine. I don't have to sit there and be chewing on a T-bone or a dinosaur steak. I don't have to do that for me. But at the end of the day, when you accomplish something in a community that you grew up in and you do something that people are able, not just you have fun, people who came there were able to have fun and enjoy themselves. That's how I got mine. And then it got mine seeing that if so many people bought shirts, they weren't even coming to the event. They know they weren't coming to the event, but they bought a shirt because that's support. And like I said, that was their dream to see the cookout keep going. And like I said, this year, just like every year, we got shirts on sale right now. You know what I'm saying? One thing we learned about last year, this year is going to be smoother. We got a quicker turnaround on shirts. We got different design. We got everything. And like I said, the meeting that we having on the 28th is we doing our best. Well, I'm doing my best to assemble some people that are really interested in putting on a Juneteenth event in Progress Village, somewhere close to Progress Village. That's what we're going to do. So if you're interested in being a part of what's going on as far as putting a Juneteenth event together in Progress Village, just get in contact with me on social media. If you ain't got my phone number, trust me, my phone number everywhere. Just do that, and everything going to be sweet. And we probably more than likely going to have to come back to this topic again. It might be in 2 or 3 weeks about following your dreams. Because just like I said, I just found the notes. So I'm saying it is some things that I skipped over. But little do y'all know, I'm watching a football game. Behind this monitor is another monitor with the football game on it. And I see it snowing in Chicago. So I'm going to let everybody go. Y'all have a wonderful evening. If y'all see me at the MLK Day parade tomorrow, all y'all got to do is say you see it. If you say you see it, I'm going to recognize you. I'm going to bring you some bees. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to show you that I appreciate your support and I appreciate you hollering, you see it. That's all I'm going to ask y'all to do. Keep your head on a swivel tomorrow for me at the MLK Day parade. Me and them babies, we going to be there at the MLK Day parade tomorrow. So, like I say, we always try to end on a good note. So I feel like we're leaving on a good note. Just remember, Hillsborough County Parks and Rec at Emmanuel P. Johnson, they have youth basketball. If you don't want to sign your kids up, at least go up there and watch them play. It ain't no fee to go to the gym and watch them kids play basketball and cheer them on. You can still go up there and do that. Progress Village Little League has something going on with baseball. go up there, get in contact with them. I don't have a contact person for them, so I can't give you one. But the contact person for Parks and Rec and youth basketball is Raheem Douglas and Tasha Mingo. We have Movie in the Park February the 20th at 6:30 at the big park on the basketball court. Bring your hot chocolate, bring your jacket, and bring your family. It's a family fun event. Anybody in surrounding areas is more than welcome to come because it's a family event. And support a business. Wiggum Family Kitchen is on the corner of 79th and 78th. That's a brother and sister business. They got two businesses inside of one food truck, but they work together. She does the desserts, he does the barbecue. Go up there and support them, and when you see them, tell them You See It sent you, because as I said, we have to support each other. And just remember, it's going to come a time when you're going to want somebody to support you. So just think about that when you're not supporting people and you're going out your way not to hit that like button. Are you going out your way not to share that information? Because like I say, 99% of the information that I receive is not for me. But at the end of the day, I turn around, I'll create a flyer, I'll do a post, I'll do whatever I can to try to share that information, hoping that it reaches somebody that it could help. So anything that I learn, I'm not a gatekeeper. So that's one thing about it. We're not doing no gate. I might have been a gatekeeper a long time ago. I don't even remember, because every time I go on my timeline and it's been bothering me, but I done got used to it now. One of my homeboys, he tell me every time he see me, he call me a fool. He say, "You're a fool. You be sharing everybody's post and don't nobody share your post." I never looked at it like that. But he say, "Sean, I be seeing it all the time. I be seeing they'll share this, they'll share that. You'll share theirs, and they'll never share yours. But guess what? God shares mine. So I'm good." And like I say, what's on your heart will be on your mind. You see it.